Fear is the greatest enemy of success, yet it's the most common roadblock we all face. Fear in many forms is something we all experience at some point in our lives. It can be the fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even the fear of the unknown. Often these fears are so powerful that they paralyze us, preventing us from pursuing our dreams or stepping outside of our comfort zones. But what if I told you that fear doesn't have to control you? What if you could face it, embrace it, and use it as fuel to unlock your true potential? The truth is, fear is not the enemy, it's how we perceive and react to it that makes it so destructive. Once we understand that fear is often just an illusion, we can begin to take back control. The most successful people in history didn't avoid fear, they learned how to conquer it, and so can you today. I'm going to take you through the steps of conquering your fears, breaking free from what holds you back, and living a life that's bold, fearless, and full of possibility. Together we'll explore the mindset, strategies, and real-life examples that can empower you to transform fear into the driving force behind your success. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I show you how to conquer your fears and live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's dive in. Number 1. Understanding fear and its power. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. At its core, fear is simply an instinctive response designed to protect us. It's a natural reaction to threats, keeping us alert and preparing us to either fight or flee. However, as we grow older, our perception of fear changes. Instead of seeing it as a tool for protection, we often begin to see it as something to avoid or something that limits us. This shift in perspective is what turns fear into a powerful force that can hold us back from reaching our full potential. Fear is often based on something that hasn't even happened yet. The fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears live in our minds and feed off our insecurities, doubts, and past experiences. When we allow these thoughts to control us, we create a mental prison that limits what we are capable of achieving. We begin to avoid situations that make us uncomfortable, and over time this pattern becomes ingrained in our behavior. But here's the thing, fear is rarely as powerful as we think it is. In fact, most of the things we fear don't come to pass. And when we face them, we often find that they are far less threatening than we imagined. The fear of failure, for example, can prevent us from pursuing our dreams, but it is through failure that we learn, grow, and develop resilience. The fear of rejection might keep us from speaking up or trying new things, but rejection is often just a redirection, a step towards something better. Let's take the example of Abraham Lincoln, who faced immense personal and political fears throughout his life. Lincoln dealt with profound self-doubt, experienced failure in his career, and faced criticism from all sides. However, instead of letting fears stop him, he embraced it. He continued to push forward, leading the country through its most difficult time, the Civil War. His ability to confront and manage fear allowed him to make difficult decisions that ultimately changed the course of history. Understanding fear is the first step to overcoming it. Fear may always be present in some form, but it doesn't have to control you. By acknowledging it and recognizing that it's often based on false evidence, you can begin to take the power away from fear and start making decisions based on courage and confidence. Instead, fear is not the enemy. It's simply a signal that you're about to step into something new, something that could change your life. It's time to stop avoiding fear and start embracing it as a part of your journey to success. Number 2. The illusion of fear. Fear is an illusion that often creates more harm than good. While fear is a natural survival mechanism, it can easily be manipulated by our thoughts, emotions, and the environment around us. What we fear is often not based on real threats but on imagined scenarios or exaggerated perceptions of danger. This is the crux of what makes fear so powerful. It can convince us that something harmful is happening or about to happen when in fact we are safe. Our minds have a tendency to magnify risks, creating worst-case scenarios that can paralyze us. We start to overthink situations and imagine consequences that are far more severe than the reality. For example, many people fear public speaking, worrying that they will make a mistake or embarrass themselves, but the truth is, most of the time the audience is not as focused on our mistakes as we think. In fact, they may not even notice the small Slip-ups. We fear. The fear of public speaking is rooted in the imagined consequences of failure, not the actual risks involved. This is the illusion of fear at work. Take the case of Walt Disney, a man who understood this illusion all too well. Early in his career, Disney was told he lacked imagination and creativity. He faced numerous rejections and disappointments, yet he continued to press forward. Disney was not immune to fear, but he chose to ignore the false narrative that others tried to impose on him. Instead of listening to the fear of failure and rejection, he took action, creating one of the largest entertainment empires in the world. Disney didn't let the illusion of fear control his decisions. He faced it head on and used it as fuel to create the impossible. This illusion of fear is something we all experience, whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. These fears are amplified by the stories we tell ourselves and the negative influences we encounter. Media, societal expectations, and our past experiences can all contribute to the magnification of fear. For instance, when we watch the news or read about global issues, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the negative events happening around us. This constant influx of fear-based information can distort our perception of reality and make us believe that danger is imminent. In reality, much of what we fear never happens, and the things that do happen are rarely as catastrophic as we imagine. So how do we break free from this illusion? The first step is to recognize that fear is often not based on facts but on exaggerated emotions. Once we understand this, we can start to question the validity of our fears. Is the worst-case scenario really going to happen, or are we simply amplifying it in our minds? Most of the time the answer is no. When we acknowledge that our fears are often unfounded, we can begin to strip them of their power. This is where Thomas Edison comes into play. Edison is widely known for his invention of the light bulb, but what many people don't know is that he faced countless failures before achieving success. Edison was told by many that his experiments were pointless, that he would never succeed, and that he was wasting his time, yet he did not succumb to the fear of failure. Instead, he reframed his failures as learning experiences. Each failed attempt brought him closer to the solution. Edison didn't let the illusion of fear stop him from achieving his dream. He embraced it and used it to drive him toward success. Fear often holds us back because we allow it to distort our perception of what's possible. When we realize that much of what we fear is based on false evidence or distorted thinking, we can begin to challenge it. Fear is a natural emotion, but it doesn't have to define us. By questioning the legitimacy of our fears and taking action despite them, we can create new possibilities for ourselves. Fear may never fully go away, but we can learn to face it, understand it, and ultimately conquer it. Number 3, embrace discomfort and grow. One of the greatest lessons in conquering fear is understanding that discomfort is not something to avoid but something to embrace. Our instinct is often to shy away from uncomfortable situations, seeking safety and certainty. However, true growth and transformation happen when we step outside our comfort zones and push ourselves beyond what feels familiar. Discomfort is a sign that you are challenging yourself, that you are stretching beyond your current limits, and that you are growing. The more we shy away from discomfort, the more we limit our potential for personal development. Discomfort doesn't have to be a negative experience. In fact, it is often the catalyst for positive change. The discomfort we feel when trying something new, whether it's a new job, a new hobby, or a new challenge, is the feeling of our comfort zone being expanded. It's a sign that we are moving in the right direction toward growth and progress. Nelson Mandela experienced this kind of discomfort throughout his life, from his time in prison to his leadership in South Africa's anti-apartheid movement. Mandela was faced with situations that were beyond anything most people could ever imagine, yet despite the extreme discomfort he endured, he used those experiences to shape his leadership, transform a nation, and fight for justice. Mandela didn't run from discomfort, he embraced it and used it to fuel his courage and determination. When you begin to embrace discomfort, you start to realize that fear and discomfort are often two sides of the same coin. Both arise when you are about to face something unknown, and both are natural reactions to stepping out of your comfort zone. However, where fear tries to pull you back into the safety of the known, discomfort pushes you forward into New territory. The key is to not let discomfort stop you but to use it as a signal that you are on the right path. Take Michael Jordan for example. Known as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Jordan's rise to fame wasn't easy. Early in his career he was cut from his high school basketball team, a blow that could have crushed his confidence and forced him to quit, but instead of retreating into comfort, Jordan embraced the discomfort of failure and used it as motivation to work harder and prove everyone wrong. His discomfort didn't stop him, it drove him to push past limitations, refine his skills and ultimately become a legend. It was through the discomfort of failure that Jordan found the courage to keep going, and it was through the discomfort of constant practice that he became the best. Discomfort is a sign that you are pushing your limits, and that's exactly where you want to be. The more you embrace it, the more you will expand your capabilities. The problem arises when we try to avoid discomfort at all costs. We avoid difficult conversations, challenging projects, or the fear of failure, all because we're afraid of how uncomfortable it might feel. But growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when we confront discomfort head on, learn from it, and come out stronger on the other side. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You gain strength, courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." That is the essence of embracing discomfort. You gain strength and confidence when you face your fears and the uncomfortable situations head on. By pushing through discomfort you are building the resilience and mental toughness required to conquer bigger challenges ahead. Remember, discomfort is not your enemy. It is the necessary stage of growth. It's telling you that you are on the verge of something bigger, something better. The more you allow yourself to be uncomfortable, the more you grow. So the next time fear or discomfort comes knocking, don't run from it, embrace it, learn from it, and let it propel you to new heights. Only by stepping into discomfort will you be able to break free from the limits you've set for yourself and discover what you are truly capable of. Number 4, reframing failure as a learning experience. Fear of failure is one of the biggest obstacles standing between us and our dreams. It can feel paralyzing, making us avoid risks or shy away from new opportunities. We worry about embarrassment, disappointment, or feeling like we're not good enough. But here's the truth: failure isn't the enemy. It's an essential part of success. When we reframe failure as a learning experience, we take away its power to hold us back and instead use it as a stepping stone to achieve our goals. Failure often carries a stigma, especially in a world that celebrates success and avoids failure at all costs. But the reality is, every successful person has failed, often repeatedly. Failure teaches us lessons that success never could. It builds resilience, sharpens our skills, and gives us the feedback we need to grow. Failure isn't the end, it's part of the process that leads to mastery and achievement. Take Stephen King, one of the most successful authors of all time. Before he became a household name, King faced rejection after rejection. His first novel, Carrie, was rejected by 30 publishers. Imagine pouring your heart into a story only to be told no over and over again. King was so discouraged that he threw the manuscript in the trash, but his wife Tabitha believed in him and encouraged him to keep going. King dug the manuscript out of the trash, revised it, and sent it out one more time. That final attempt led to a publishing deal, and Carrie became a bestseller, launching King's legendary career. What's remarkable about King's story isn't just his eventual success, it's how he responded to failure. Instead of letting rejection define him, he used it as fuel to keep going. He didn't see those 30 no's as proof that he wasn't good enough. He saw them as part of the process. Each rejection taught him something, whether it was about his writing, his persistence, or his belief in himself. King's ability to reframe failure as a learning experience is a masterclass in resilience. This mindset shift is crucial for anyone looking to conquer their fears. Instead of fearing failure, we can choose to see it as an opportunity to grow. Every time we fail, we gain valuable feedback about what works and what doesn't. Failure shows us where we need to improve, whether it's our approach, our strategy, or our mindset. The key isn't to avoid failure, it's to embrace the lessons it teaches us. Stephen King's story reminds us that failure is often a test of our commitment. It's easy to give up when things get hard, but the people who succeed are the ones who keep going. King could have let those 30 rejections crush his spirit, but he didn't. He used them as motivation to prove the doubters Wrong, and because of that he didn't just achieve success, he changed the world of literature forever. The next time you face failure, instead of letting it paralyze you, ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? What can I do differently next time? The answers you find will not only help you improve but will also give you the courage to keep moving forward. Failure isn't a reflection of who you are, it's a reflection of where you are in the process. It's a sign that you're pushing boundaries, trying new things and learning along the way, so stay fearless. Remember, the greatest success stories are built on a foundation of failures. Embrace failure as part of your growth, knowing that each time you fail you're one step closer to reaching your goals. Failure isn't something to avoid, it's a powerful teacher, and when you learn to see it that way, there's nothing you can't achieve. Number 5. The role of self-belief in overcoming fear. One of the most powerful tools in conquering fear is self-belief. At its core, self-belief is the confidence in your own abilities, worth, and potential. Without it, fear can take root in every decision and action you take. Fear often arises when we question our own capabilities, when we doubt whether we are worthy or capable of achieving what we desire. However, developing strong self-belief can provide the foundation needed to confront fear and move towards success. Self-belief isn't something that magically appears, it's something you cultivate and strengthen over time. Every time you push through a challenge, every time you take a step outside your comfort zone, you build your belief in yourself. The more you challenge yourself and succeed, even in small ways, the more confidence you gain over time. This belief becomes so ingrained that it becomes an automatic response to fear. When faced with fear, instead of shrinking away, you rise to the occasion with the confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way. Muhammad Ali is a perfect example of someone who embodied self-belief throughout his career. Ali faced not only physical challenges but also personal and societal doubts. He was often criticized for his brash confidence, but he believed in himself unwaveringly. One of his most famous quotes is, "I am the greatest." I said that even before I knew I was. Ali's self-belief was not based on arrogance but on an unshakable confidence in his ability to achieve greatness even when faced with setbacks like being banned from boxing or losing a match. His belief in himself propelled him forward. This powerful self-belief allowed Ali to conquer the greatest challenges and cement his legacy as one of the greatest athletes in history. It's important to understand that self-belief is not the absence of fear but rather the ability to move forward in spite of it. Fear will always be present, especially when you're pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. However, self-belief gives you the strength to take action despite that fear. It allows you to acknowledge the fear, understand it, and move past it. Oprah Winfrey, another example of immense self-belief, faced multiple obstacles on her way to success. She was fired from her first job as a television news anchor, criticized for her weight and appearance, and struggled with personal hardships. Yet Oprah believed in her ability to connect with people and create meaningful change. She took action despite the obstacles and ultimately became one of the most influential women in the world. Oprah's journey proves that self-belief is essential for overcoming external challenges and internal doubts. Her story is a testament to the power of trusting yourself and your abilities even when others may doubt you. Building self-belief also involves recognizing and embracing your strengths. Too often we focus on our weaknesses or compare ourselves to others, which feeds fear and insecurity. Instead of looking at what you lack, focus on what you bring to the table. Take time to reflect on your past successes, no matter how small they may seem. By doing this, you'll begin to realize that you have the strength and skills to handle whatever comes your way. Another key aspect of self-belief is self-acceptance. Many of us fear failure or rejection because we believe it will expose our flaws or weaknesses. However, when you accept yourself fully, both your strengths and your weaknesses, you stop fearing judgment and external criticism. Self-acceptance frees you from the constant pressure to be perfect, allowing you to move forward with confidence and courage. A great example of self-acceptance is Barack Obama. Obama faced immense scrutiny throughout his political career, with many doubting his ability to lead the country, yet he never wavered in his belief in his own potential. Obama knew that his path would not be easy, but he trusted in his ability to navigate it. He accepted his imperfections, learned from his mistakes and stayed true to his vision. His self-belief was not about being perfect. It was about trusting his ability to make a difference. Self-belief is the armor that protects you from the weight of fear. When you believe in yourself, fear becomes less of a barrier and more of a challenge to overcome. It's the force that propels you to take risks, face rejection, and rise above obstacles. It gives you the power to take ownership of your journey, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength to keep moving forward. So the next time fear starts to creep in, remind yourself of what you've already accomplished and what you are capable of achieving. Trust in your abilities, believe in your potential, and take action. Self-belief is the foundation that will help you conquer your fears and achieve the success you deserve. When you believe in yourself, you unlock a power within you that no fear can ever take away. Number 6. The power of visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool that can help you conquer fear and unlock your potential. It involves creating a mental image of your goals and imagining yourself successfully achieving them. This mental exercise is not just about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's a technique used by many successful people to program their minds for success. Visualization helps to build confidence, reduce anxiety, and shift the focus from fear to achievement. It essentially rewires your brain to see success as inevitable and empowers you to take the necessary steps to make it a reality. The reason visualization works so well is that your mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you visualize yourself succeeding in a challenging situation, your brain activates the same neural pathways as if you were actually performing the task. This makes the experience feel more tangible, reducing fear and self-doubt. By practicing visualization, you're not just imagining success, you're training your brain to anticipate it and prepare for it. A great example of the power of visualization is Jim Carrey, the actor and comedian who is known for his extraordinary success in Hollywood. In the early 1990s, when Carrey was struggling to find consistent work, he visualized himself achieving success in a big way. Carrey famously wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. Post dated for Thanksgiving 1995. He kept that check in his wallet, and as he visualized his success, he truly believed that one day he would receive that amount for a movie role. In 1994, Carrey received a movie deal for his role in Dumb and Dumber, and the check he wrote to himself became a reality. This incredible story is a perfect illustration of how the power of visualization paired with belief in yourself can turn dreams into reality. Visualization works because it activates the subconscious mind, which is responsible for guiding our actions. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your subconscious mind starts to look for ways to make that vision a reality. It gives you the drive to take action, make decisions, and pursue opportunities that align with your goals. It also helps you stay focused on your objectives, making it easier to push through challenges and stay committed when fear or doubt tries to hold you back. In fact, Olympic athletes have been using visualization for decades to enhance their performance. They don't just practice their physical skills, they also mentally rehearse every move. Studies have shown that athletes who visualize their success perform better than those who don't. When an athlete imagines crossing the finish line or hitting a perfect shot, they mentally rehearse their success, which in turn boosts their confidence and readiness to perform. Visualization has been credited with helping athletes like Michael Phelps and Serena Williams achieve greatness by mentally preparing them to handle the pressure and competition they face. Visualization also helps you to overcome fear by breaking down the unknown into manageable scenarios. When you're faced with something that scares you, such as a big presentation, a new job, or a crucial decision, imagining yourself succeeding in that situation makes it feel more familiar and less intimidating. You're essentially pre-programming your mind for success by mentally rehearsing the event. This makes it easier to face your fears when the time comes, because your brain has already experienced success in that scenario. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." This quote captures the essence of visualization perfectly. When you believe in your ability to succeed and consistently visualize that success, you start to align your actions and thoughts with that belief. Visualization is more than just imagining a positive outcome. It's about creating a mental environment where success feels inevitable as you Continue to visualize your goals. You will find that fear becomes less of an obstacle and more of a motivator. Visualization is a practice that can be incorporated into your daily routine, and it doesn't take long to start seeing results. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself achieving your goals. Picture the sights, sounds, and feelings associated with your success. See yourself overcoming the challenges, handling setbacks with grace, and ultimately succeeding. The more you practice visualization, the more natural it will feel, and the more your mind will be primed for success. Remember, the power to overcome fear and achieve your goals is already within you. By visualizing your success, you are training your mind to believe in it, to pursue it, and to overcome the obstacles that may stand in your way. Fear may try to stop you, but with the power of visualization you can turn it into motivation and drive toward your dreams. Number 7. Overcoming fear of rejection. One of the most common fears that people face, and often the most paralyzing, is the fear of rejection. Whether it's in personal relationships, professional opportunities, or pursuing a passion, the fear of being rejected or judged can prevent us from taking risks and stepping into the life we desire. We worry about what others will think, how we will be perceived, and whether we'll be accepted or not. This fear can be crippling, but the key to overcoming it is realizing that rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply part of the journey toward success. The fear of rejection stems from our innate desire for acceptance and approval from others. As human beings, we are wired to seek connection and validation, so rejection feels like a personal attack. However, rejection does not define us, nor does it dictate our future success. In fact, rejection is often a redirection, a sign that we are moving closer to the right opportunities. The most successful people in history have faced rejection and failure many times, but they didn't let it stop them. Instead, they embraced it, learned from it, and used it to fuel their growth. Take Steven Spielberg for example. The legendary director faced rejection early in his career, and it could have easily derailed his future in filmmaking. Spielberg was initially rejected by the University of Southern California's film school despite his passion and dreams of becoming a director, but rather than letting this setback defeat him, Spielberg refused to give up. Instead, he kept pursuing his dream, making short films and eventually earning a spot in Hollywood. Today, Spielberg is considered one of the most influential filmmakers of all time, and his story is a testament to the power of resilience in the face of rejection. Similarly, the Beatles experienced one of the most famous rejections in music history. When they first auditioned for a record deal in 1962, they were told by a major music producer that guitar groups are on the way out and that the Beatles would never make it. This rejection didn't stop them. Instead, it fueled their determination to succeed. They went on to become one of the most successful and influential bands of all time, reshaping the music industry. The Beatles' story shows that rejection is often a stepping stone to greatness. The right opportunity will come when you stay committed and continue to believe in yourself. The fear of rejection often holds us back from pursuing our dreams, but the truth is that rejection is a natural part of life. It happens to everyone. It's not a personal attack, it's simply a sign that you are pushing boundaries, trying new things, and putting yourself out there. Rejection is an inevitable part of taking risks, but it's also a crucial part of the learning process. Each no brings you closer to a yes, and every rejection teaches you something valuable that can help you improve and grow. Take Henry Ford for example, who faced rejection and skepticism early in his career. Ford was turned down by investors multiple times and was often criticized for his ideas. However, he refused to let these rejections stop him from pursuing his dream of revolutionizing the automobile industry. His persistence paid off, and he eventually founded the Ford Motor Company, forever changing the way cars were built and sold. Ford's journey shows that rejection is not a reflection of your abilities but a part of the process that ultimately leads to success. To overcome the fear of rejection, it's important to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing rejection as a failure, view it as feedback. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Rejection often points you in the right direction, revealing opportunities that may not have been immediately apparent. Each rejection is a chance to refine your approach, develop your resilience, and move closer to your goals. The fear of rejection often stems from a fear of being judged or misunderstood, but the Truth is that no one's opinion can define your worth. Your value doesn't depend on the approval of others. When you stop seeking validation and start validating yourself, rejection becomes less threatening. You begin to see it for what it truly is, a part of the process, not the end of the road. So the next time you face rejection, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal pursuits, remind yourself that it's not the rejection that matters, but how you respond to it. Keep moving forward, stay resilient, and remember that every rejection is simply a step closer to success. By embracing rejection and learning from it, you will build the confidence and courage to continue pushing toward your dreams. Number 8. Trusting your intuition. One of the most powerful tools in overcoming fear and achieving success is learning to trust your intuition. Intuition is that inner voice, that gut feeling, that unexplainable sense of knowing something is right or wrong. Even when there is no logical explanation, many people ignore their intuition because they're afraid of making the wrong choice, or because they're waiting for rational evidence to back up their decisions. However, the truth is, intuition can be one of the most valuable resources you have when it comes to conquering fear and making bold moves in life. Intuition isn't magic or guesswork, it's the culmination of your experiences, knowledge, and subconscious processing that helps guide you toward the right path. When you trust your intuition, you're allowing yourself to tap into a deeper level of wisdom and awareness that goes beyond logical thinking and societal expectations. It's about listening to that voice that tells you when something feels right, even if you can't explain why. Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, is a great example of someone who has trusted his intuition to guide his decisions. Branson's entrepreneurial journey is filled with risks and challenges, but it's his ability to trust his gut that has allowed him to succeed. One of the most notable examples was when he launched Virgin Airlines in the 1980s. At the time, the airline industry was highly competitive and saturated, and many advised Branson against entering the market. However, he trusted his intuition and his desire to create an airline that offered better service and a more customer-friendly experience. Today, Virgin Airlines is a globally recognized brand, and Branson's decision to trust his intuition paid off even when the odds were stacked against him. Another powerful example of intuition in action is Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and civil rights activist. Angelou's life was shaped by moments when she trusted her inner voice to guide her even when the world around her was uncertain. One of the key turning points in Angelou's life was when she decided to become a writer. After years of experiencing trauma and hardship, in her own words she said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." Angelou trusted her inner voice that urged her to share her experiences and wisdom despite the fear and self-doubt that could have held her back. Her decision to listen to her intuition led her to become one of the most influential literary voices in history. Intuition isn't always easy to trust, especially when fear is involved. When faced with a big decision, it's natural to question yourself and seek external validation, but the key to overcoming fear and finding success is learning to differentiate between fear-based thoughts and the quiet, confident voice of intuition. Fear often sounds like worry, doubt, and hesitation, while intuition feels like a calm knowing urging you forward with clarity and conviction. Learning to recognize the difference is a crucial step in trusting your intuition. Albert Einstein is another example of someone who trusted his intuition in the pursuit of his groundbreaking scientific theories. Einstein, though highly intellectual, often relied on his intuitive sense when working through complex problems. In his work on the theory of relativity, Einstein made several bold assumptions that were based not only on mathematics but also on an inner sense of what felt right. He famously said, "The only real valuable thing is intuition." Einstein's success in science can be attributed in part to his willingness to trust his gut feelings even when they contradicted traditional thinking. Trusting your intuition also involves overcoming the fear of making mistakes. Many people fear that if they follow their intuition they might make the wrong choice. However, intuition is not about making perfect decisions, it's about making the decisions that feel most aligned with your true self and your goals, even if a decision doesn't turn out as expected. Trusting your intuition helps you learn and grow from the experience, building your confidence and resilience for Future decisions. The next time you're faced with a decision, big or small, take a moment to listen to that inner voice. Ask yourself what your gut is telling you and how it aligns with your values and goals. By trusting your intuition, you tap into a deep well of wisdom that will guide you toward the right path, helping you conquer fear and make bold decisions. With confidence, remember, intuition is your internal compass guiding you toward success. All you have to do is trust it. Number 9. Courage in the face of adversity. Courage is not the absence of fear but the ability to move forward in spite of it. It is the strength to face challenges head on even when everything around you seems uncertain or overwhelming. While fear is a natural emotion, true courage comes from confronting that fear, standing tall in the face of adversity and continuing to move forward. The greatest achievements often come from those who dared to face hardship and fear, using them as fuel to drive their dreams. One of the most powerful examples of courage in the face of adversity is Nelson Mandela. Mandela's life was defined by his relentless pursuit of justice and equality for all people in South Africa. Despite the extraordinary challenges he faced after spending 27 years in prison for his anti-apartheid activism, he emerged not broken but more determined than ever. His courage was not just in enduring hardship but in choosing to forgive those who had oppressed him and his people. Mandela could have sought revenge or remained bitter, but instead he used his power and influence to create a peaceful, democratic society. His ability to confront fear, pain and division with the strength to unify and forgive remains one of the most profound demonstrations of courage in modern history. Similarly, Walt Disney is another remarkable example of someone who faced immense adversity yet continued to persevere. Disney encountered rejection and failure throughout his career, but his vision for creativity and innovation never wavered. He was fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination and faced financial struggles that led to bankruptcy before finally founding the Disney empire. Despite countless setbacks and criticism, Disney didn't give up. Instead, he trusted his creative instincts and pushed forward. He faced fear head-on and continued to break new ground in the entertainment industry. His perseverance and ability to confront adversity with boldness and imagination led to the creation of the Disney brand, which has since become one of the most beloved and successful companies in the world. Nee Brown, a renowned researcher on vulnerability and courage, also offers valuable insights into how courage operates in the face of adversity. Brown's work has shown that courage is not about being fearless but about being vulnerable and accepting that fear is part of the process. She argues that vulnerability is an essential part of courage as it involves putting yourself in situations where you can be hurt or rejected and continuing to show up anyway. Brown's own journey in studying vulnerability was not without challenges. She faced criticism and fear in sharing her research with the world, but her courage to embrace vulnerability and show up authentically led to widespread recognition. Her work has changed how we view courage, showing that it's not about avoiding fear but about having the strength to be vulnerable and face challenges head-on. Courage in the face of adversity is not about being fearless, it's about choosing to take action despite fear. Whether it's Nelson Mandela enduring imprisonment, Walt Disney overcoming rejection, or Nee Brown embracing vulnerability, these examples remind us that courage is a choice. It is a decision to stand tall when life challenges us, to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear, and to use fear as a catalyst for growth rather than a reason to stop. The next time you face adversity, remember that courage does not require the absence of fear, it requires the willingness to press forward, to stand in the face of uncertainty and to keep moving toward your dreams. Courage is a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it, and by continuing to push forward you'll find yourself more resilient and capable of overcoming anything life throws your way. Number 10. The unstoppable power of commitment. Commitment is one of the most powerful forces when it comes to overcoming fear and achieving success. It's easy to get motivated in the short term, to feel inspired and enthusiastic about a new project or dream, but commitment is what keeps you going when the initial excitement fades, when obstacles arise, and when the path gets difficult. Commitment is the unwavering dedication to your goals no matter the setbacks or challenges you face. It's the Force that pushes you to keep going when everything else tells you to quit. One of the most powerful examples of commitment is Frida Kahlo, the iconic Mexican artist who faced immense personal struggles but remained deeply committed to her art. Kahlo suffered from numerous health issues, including a debilitating bus accident that caused her severe pain for the rest of her life. Despite these challenges, Kahlo did not let her physical suffering stop her from creating art. She painted deeply personal works that often reflected her pain, struggles and emotions, turning her adversity into a source of creativity. Kahlo's commitment to her craft allowed her to become one of the most celebrated artists in history, showing that no amount of suffering or difficulty can break the spirit of someone who is committed to their passion and purpose. Another powerful example of commitment comes from Amelia Earhart, a pioneering aviator who became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Despite the many barriers and dangers she faced as a woman in a male-dominated field, Earhart was unwavering in her commitment to achieving her goals. She was determined to prove that women could accomplish extraordinary feats just like men. Her courage and commitment to breaking through societal expectations led her to set multiple records in aviation, including becoming the first woman to fly solo non-stop across the United States. Tragically, her commitment to flying ended in 1937 when she disappeared during her attempt to fly around the world, but her legacy of pioneering achievements continues to inspire generations. The story of Nelson Mandela also exemplifies the transformative power of commitment. Mandela's lifelong commitment to fighting apartheid in South Africa, despite facing imprisonment and years of suffering, is a testament to the strength of his dedication. His commitment to justice, equality and reconciliation guided his actions, and his ability to endure the hardships of prison without losing sight of his vision was nothing short of extraordinary. Even after spending 27 years in prison, Mandela remained steadfast in his commitment to creating a free and democratic South Africa. When he was finally released, rather than seeking revenge, he chose reconciliation and peace, leading South Africa through a peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy. His commitment to his cause and his people ultimately changed the course of history, proving that no obstacle is insurmountable when you are truly committed to your mission. Commitment doesn't always come easy. It requires discipline, resilience and a willingness to push through difficult moments. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the weight of obstacles feels unbearable, but it's in those moments that commitment becomes the most important. It's the ability to continue to put in the work and to stay dedicated even when things don't go as planned. Without commitment, it's easy to lose focus, to become distracted by setbacks or failures, but when you are committed, you remain focused on the end goal and keep taking steps, no matter how small, toward achieving it. Take Steve Jobs, for instance. Jobs' commitment to creating Apple and changing the world of technology was unmatched. Despite being fired from the company he founded, Jobs returned to Apple years later and led the company to unprecedented success with groundbreaking products like the iPhone and the iPad. Throughout his journey, Jobs faced numerous obstacles, from financial troubles to personal struggles, but his commitment to his vision and his belief in the potential of his ideas never faltered. He famously said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Jobs' unwavering commitment to his vision and his refusal to accept anything less than excellence are what made him one of the most influential figures of the modern age. Commitment is what transforms your dreams into reality. It's the fuel that propels you forward, and the journey gets tough and the obstacles seem insurmountable. When you commit to something, you are investing in your future, pushing through the fear and uncertainty and taking action toward your goals. The stories of Frida Kahlo, Amelia Earhart and Nelson Mandela show that commitment is often the key to overcoming adversity and achieving extraordinary success. The next time you're faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how committed am I to this goal? If your commitment is strong, you will find the strength to keep moving forward. No matter what obstacles arise, when you commit to your dreams, the possibilities are endless. Commitment will help you conquer your fears, push through adversity, and achieve things you once thought impossible. The power of commitment is unstoppable, and when you tap into it, there is nothing you can't accomplish in the journey of life. Fear is an inevitable companion. It's a natural response to uncertainty, change, and challenge. However, as we've seen throughout this video, fear does not have to be the force that holds us back. Instead, it can be the very thing that propels us toward greatness. The key lies in how we respond to fear rather than letting it stop us in our tracks. We can learn to confront it, reframe it, and use it as a stepping stone toward success. We've learned that fear is often an illusion. It's rooted in our imagination, based on the stories we tell ourselves, and when we stop feeding it with doubt and negativity, we can see it for what it truly is: a natural emotion that doesn't have to control our actions. Commitment, as we've discussed, is a powerful antidote to fear. It is the unwavering dedication to our goals even in the face of adversity, whether it's through visualization, which helps us to see success before it happens, or by embracing the discomfort of new challenges. We can reframe our fears and take bold steps forward. The stories of great individuals like Nelson Mandela, Frida Kahlo, and Amelia Earhart remind us that fear and adversity are not the end of the road, they are part of the journey. Courage, as we've explored, isn't about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear, pushing through the doubts, and staying true to our purpose by trusting ourselves, committing to our goals, and using fear as fuel for growth. We can unlock our true potential as you move forward in your life. Remember that fear is not a permanent barrier, it's simply a signal that you are on the brink of growth and change. Commitment, self-belief, and courage are the tools that will carry you through your dreams. Your goals and your potential are all within reach, but it's up to you to push through the fear and stay focused on the path ahead. So take a moment today and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Is it something that will truly harm me, or is it an opportunity to grow? Once you've identified your fears, remember that they are merely stepping stones to your success. Stay committed, stay fearless, and know that you have everything within you to overcome the obstacles in your path. Keep moving forward and you will create the life you've always dreamed of.